FIFA spent months preparing for this moment. They drew up a banned items list. They printed it on tickets. They trained stadium security. They fought a lawsuit in a Los Angeles courtroom. They issued warnings. They staffed additional screening checkpoints. They told fans, clearly and repeatedly, this symbol is not allowed inside. And then 60,000 people walked into SoFi Stadium, and the banned symbol was everywhere. On banners, on shirts, on flags waved openly in front of cameras broadcasting to hundreds of millions of people around the world. FIFA had one job, and in the most visible, most public, most globally watched setting imaginable, they failed to do it. This is the story of how Iranian fans made FIFA look powerless at their own tournament, and why the symbol at the center of it all carries a weight that goes far deeper than a football match. The match was Belgium versus Iran. Group G, Sunday, June 21st, SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California. FIFA and stadium security cranked up screening measures ahead of kickoff, subjecting fans to additional security screenings to keep the banned flag out of the venue. Additional screenings, enhanced checkpoints, more staff, more eyes. A deliberate, organized effort to enforce a policy that had been in place since before the tournament began. But the effort did little to stop it. By the time the match started, Lion and Sun flags were everywhere, popping up on banners, shirts, and signs all across the crowd. Everywhere. Not one. Not a handful of defiant fans who slipped through. Everywhere. Banners large enough to be seen from the opposite end of the stadium. Shirts that had presumably passed through the same checkpoints that were supposed to catch them. The signs held openly, facing the cameras, making sure the image was recorded and broadcast. When the anthem of the Islamic Republic of Iran played over the loudspeakers, a deafening wave of boos erupted across SoFi Stadium. The anthem of the government. Booed. Inside the official venue of the FIFA World Cup, loudly enough that it was impossible to ignore. One supporter held a sign reading, "Where is Rashid Mazahiri?" referencing the former Iran national team goalkeeper whose detention became a rallying cry after he publicly blasted the regime's leadership earlier this year. Tensions boiled over during the match when a fan wearing an Iran shirt was arrested and escorted out by law enforcement. Despite the heavy security presence, large Lion and Sun flags remained visible throughout the stands for most of the match. One arrest. Flags still flying. The security apparatus present, visible, active, and ultimately overwhelmed by the sheer number of people who had decided that a FIFA rule was not going to stop them from expressing who they are. Sunday's defiance perfectly mirrored Iran's opener against New Zealand, where fans similarly ignored FIFA's restrictions and loudly booed the official anthem. This was not a one-off. This was the second consecutive match at which the same thing happened. The same flags, the same booing, the same message. To understand why thousands of people were willing to risk arrest, confiscation, and ejection from a World Cup stadium to carry this flag, you need to understand what it actually means, and what FIFA did when it decided to ban it. Because this is not a simple story about a flag. It is a story about identity, history, and who gets to decide what a symbol means. The lion and sun emblem served as Iran's national symbol for centuries before the 1979 Islamic Revolution replaced it with the current emblem of the Islamic Republic. Centuries. This is not a flag invented by dissidents or opposition groups. It is one of the oldest national symbols in Iranian history, a golden lion holding a sword set against a rising sun on the same green, white, and red tricolor that still represents Iran today. For hundreds of years, it was simply what Iran was. For many Iranians living outside Iran, particularly those who fled the revolution or whose families did, it represents a connection to a pre-revolutionary identity. The Iranian diaspora in Los Angeles alone numbers in the hundreds of thousands. These are people, many of them American citizens, many of them born in the United States to parents who fled Iran after 1979, for whom this flag is not a political statement. It is a family photograph. It is what their grandparents flew. It is what they were taught to see as home. While the current Iranian government banned the symbol decades ago, it stands as a symbol of freedom and opposition to the regime for millions of dissidents worldwide. FIFA classified it as a political symbol and added it to its list of prohibited items at stadiums. FIFA's Stadium Code of Conduct bans banners, flags, and other items deemed political, offensive, or discriminatory in the name of neutrality. Neutrality. That is the word FIFA uses. But here is where the argument against the ban becomes very difficult to dismiss. FIFA allows the current Iranian national flag, which itself carries political meaning given the regime it represents. If FIFA allows the current Iranian flag while banning the historical alternative, it isn't a neutral policy. It's a choice about which political reality gets recognized. FIFA is flying the flag of the Islamic Republic of Iran at every match Iran plays at this World Cup. That flag, the current one, with the emblem of a government that a large portion of its own diaspora actively opposes, is officially sanctioned. The historical flag, the one that predates the revolution, the one that carries centuries of non-political national identity for millions of people, is banned. That is the contradiction at the heart of this entire story. FIFA's ban did not go unchallenged. It went to court. The Institute for Voices of Liberty, a California nonprofit, along with plaintiff Sam Kermanian, filed suit against FIFA on June 10 and 11, 2026, in Los Angeles County Superior Court. The core argument was that FIFA's rules cannot override California's constitutional free speech protections. Critics blasted FIFA for a brazen double standard, noting that FIFA's guidelines explicitly allow the Palestinian flag to be flown without restriction. The Institute for Voices of Liberty argued that enforcing a foreign entity's speech restrictions inside the United States directly violates First Amendment protections. The First Amendment argument is a significant one. FIFA is a Swiss organization operating inside the United States. Its stadium code of conduct is written in Zurich. But the stadiums where it is being enforced are in California, Texas, New York, states with constitutional free speech protections that do not bend simply because an international sports body has a different policy. A preliminary injunction hearing was scheduled for June 15 and 16, 2026, timed directly around Iran's opening match against New Zealand, making it a de facto deadline for any legal relief. The court did not issue the injunction in time to change the situation for the New Zealand match. A judge upheld FIFA's ban at an emergency hearing in Los Angeles. FIFA won in court, but it lost on the ground. Because whatever a judge in Los Angeles ruled, the fans inside SoFi Stadium made a different decision, and FIFA's security apparatus could not stop them. And here is the moment that turned a controversy into something that looks, to a lot of people, like proof of exactly what the lawsuit was arguing. Because what happened with the Israeli flag, at the same stadium, at the same tournament, tells you everything about the double standard the lawsuit was built on. A video circulated showing an Israeli flag confiscated by a private security staff member at the Iran versus New Zealand match at SoFi Stadium, while Palestinian flags a few rows away were left untouched. The fan, who identified himself to Fox News as Ronnie, pointed directly at the nearby Palestinian flags and asked why the rules were being applied differently. The security staffer acknowledged it was FIFA employees calling the shots, saying, "I don't make the rules. He doesn't make the rules. FIFA makes the rules." And what this incident revealed, on camera, in front of journalists, broadcast around the world, is that FIFA's supposedly neutral policy was not being applied neutrally. One flag taken, another flag with equal or greater political significance left alone. A security guard who knew the inconsistency was visible and could only point upward. In the hour before Iran's opener against New Zealand, Yahoo Sports reported watching security guards give nearly a dozen spectators the choice of either leaving the line with their flags or having them confiscated. One Iranian American, turned away at the gate, told the outlet, "It's not like I'm cussing people out. This was the flag I was raised with. This was the flag I was raised with." That sentence is the whole story. Not a provocation. Not a political demonstration organized by a dissident group. A person who grew up in a family that flew this flag, at home, at celebrations, as a marker of who they were, being told by a FIFA employee that their heritage is prohibited inside a football stadium in the country where they live. This case matters beyond the specific flag in question. It is a test of whether international sports governing bodies can impose speech restrictions that conflict with the laws of their host countries. FIFA won the court case. The ban technically still stands. But at both Iran matches so far, against New Zealand and against Belgium, the flag has been present in the stands, visibly, defiantly, and in large numbers. The fans answered the court ruling their own way. Iran's final group match is against Egypt on June 26th in Seattle. A different city, a different stadium, the same ban, the same diaspora community watching from the stands. FIFA will set up the checkpoints again, train the security staff again, enforce the policy again. Whether the outcome will be different from what happened in Los Angeles, twice, is something the tournament is about to find out. The flag that predates the Islamic Republic by centuries was banned from a World Cup stadium in the United States of America, and the people it belongs to decided, in the most public setting they could find, that they did not accept that. Stay subscribed for complete coverage as the 2026 World Cup continues.